Good morning, everyone. This is Jill Raven Stevenson at Juniper Sage. And I just went for a lovely walk. And this week we're kind of talking about the art of receiving. And I got kind of inspired by my paintings this week. So I'm kind of using my paintings as a prompt or a doorway in to help me kind of express and share about the art of receiving. It is it can be one of our gifts, our abilities that we're healing our relationship to. It can be a part of our one of our abilities that is just really beautiful to nurture. It can be to strengthen it. It can be just to affirm it, right? So a lot of this little musings this week could be just affirming things you already know, helping you reconnect and build a strong relationship to that ability. It could be even expanding your awareness around it and kind of having a little seeds of wondering around it. So it's been interesting because we do have little gateways or little like belief systems or little dams that say we can only receive this much, we can only receive this much, we can only receive this much. So it's as if there are aspects within our belief system that informs us how much we can receive. And really, when we are in our divine will, we can receive whatever it is that we call to us and whatever is available to us. And that it is, like I spoke about yesterday, it is our asking that opens the door, that engages the energy of whatever is coming with you, for you. So yesterday we talked about the energy of the day. So we're going to do that again today so we can continue kind of exercising that muscle and witnessing what happens throughout the day of what we've received. And we're also going to talk about being received, right? So I think about this painting. So I'm going to kind of start there, and then I'm going to go back to, and I'm going to circle back to receive that beautiful meditation or experience that we did yesterday. Okay. So this here is this beautiful painting, and I was really inspired by the many ways that Mother Mary has been painted. And I started this painting right before I went on a 4-month sabbatical. And when I came home, I finished the painting. So I just thought it was interesting, the flow of its beginning and then when it completed itself. I'm going to go a little bit about the symbolism today, so just a little bit deeper than I did yesterday. So she has the white roses around her, and she has the olive branch. And I love the white roses because it's this purity. So to be received from a pure place, what would that feel like, right? To be received with no judgment, unconditionally received, right? I don't have to show up a certain way. I don't have to dress a certain way. I don't have to say a certain thing. I am just authentically received. And then the other symbology around it for me is this reflective energy. So it might be a little bit hard to see it. Let's see if I can get a little closer so you can see the symbol. You can see it mirrors, right? So what we offer is a reflection of and who we offer it to is is in essence what we're willing to offer to ourselves, right? And so it reflects to us. And then the who also reflects, like who we choose to offer to also reflects an aspect within us. And it goes into that level of understanding can waver between judgment, which is informed by belief, or genuine attraction, like genuine, I'm supposed to gift you this. When we are in that level of receiving, here I can feel this, like I give you this medicine, there's usually no attachment to it, right? If we're giving this to someone because we have a should attached or a status aspect to attach, then the giving isn't as clear, right? So that reflects things back and forth to us. And it really reflects the trust of giving and receiving, that we don't have to do anything in order to receive, which then brings me back to her. So she's really holding, the white roses also hold that energy of grace. And actually, this sign for me holds the energy of grace. And really, the perception. So these are all peacock feathers. She's a white peacock, so I'll get a little bit closer there. And it's the many perceptions. So she will receive the many perceptions of life, the many ideas, the many requests of life, the many dreams of life, right? So she has no agenda in the receiving. So it gets into tricky, right, when we're receiving things. And so remembering that if you receive something that doesn't feel good, like I always think of gifts are a great one for this. I remember long ago, it was when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was with my sister-in-law. We were both pregnant at the same time. Sorry, I was just trying to recollect the story there. And we both sat down and wrote a core group of questions we had for my mother-in-law and this group of women friends that both of us had come to know were my mother-in-law's core group of friends. And we both thought they had all this wisdom. They've had this life experience, so we're going to, would they be receptive to answering our questions? And they were like, sure, we'll answer these questions. So what we got in return from the questions was a cookbook with all these recipes in it. And my sister-in-law, when she received it, it didn't make sense to her, and she was just like, well, that's not what I needed. And she kind of passed it on to somebody. I don't know what she did with it. For me, I went through every recipe trying to detect what in the recipe of cookies is answering one of my questions. What was the answer in whatever recipe it was? Is there an answer to another one of my questions? So I could create the answers to my question by deciphering these recipes. And I thought to myself, that's so interesting that how we both discerned or accepted what was given to us, right? So one was like, no, that's not what I need. And for me, I dove in and tried to decode it. So I think I do that when I'm receiving gifts that don't make sense to me. I think I try to decode it. And for me, what I've learned from that moment on was, it's okay to discern. It's okay to say, no, that's not what I quite wanted. You're not hurting Spirit's feeling. It helps you identify your needs. It helps you identify what it is to receive, what it is that you need to receive. It helps you identify from where to receive from, and to be what to, and then also who to ask in the receiving. So I think about that with the plants. So I'm sitting in front of my little barrel plants. This is really amusing this week, by the way. I can tell I'm not like, I'm just letting myself ramble. So hopefully you guys are just grabbing little pieces. The flowers, what I've come to know about them is they hold such medicine, right? And we know that on some level. They hold they're a food source, they hold medicine, they hold the energy of beauty. There's a harmony. And what I've come to know is, like, when I'm in discord emotionally, I'm having my emotions and my mental field are having a moment together, and even my physical imbalances, I will sit with the plants and ask them for balancing energies and harmonic energies. So that's the relationship. So now I've identified, what their core gift, and in that, when I need that core gift, that's who I go to ask, right? So now we're back over here at the painting. So we're kind of going back and forth, and we're really kind of having this circular conversation around the art of receiving. And then the other thing is, for me, is she holds a bowl, right? She holds a vessel to receive from. And for me, she's receiving. You might see her and feel like she's offering, but in the way that I approached her this morning was, I could feel that she's receiving. So she's the divine, an aspect of the divine feminine, and she's the receiver of my dreams, right? So it's a vessel for me to receive my dreams. This is what I would like to do next. This is the next, creation. This is the next project. This is the next experience. This is the next manifestation. And so she receives that for me. So I can, having her visually helps me use her as a beautiful place to offer my dreams, offer my, what it is that I want to manifest. So she holds that energy. So the question is, for us in this moment, the question I want to pose to you this morning is, who are your receivers, right? Who receives your requests? Who receives your desires? Who receives your passions? So why is that important to have somebody to receive that? Well, when we're in, we are always in co-creation. As we worked with yesterday, we were in co-creation with oxygen and CO2, and it serves our well-being, right? It contributes to it, and I contribute to its well-being. So that's that balance of giving and receiving. And and in that, we, so where am I going with that? I feel like I bird walked there for a moment. So in that stream of that relationship between giving and receiving, who are your receivers, right? So for me, I go to the energy that holds the most unconditional presence for me. So trees are unconditional, plants are unconditional. My my way of personifying spirit. So for me, spirit is unconditional. It holds that energy of grace, right? It doesn't judge what it is that I want to dream. It doesn't judge what it is that I want, that I'm choosing. It just supports my choices in a way that serves my highest good and my highest path of potential. So just taking a moment this morning and feeling like, who are your receivers, and what is the level of engagement that you have with them? I had to really learn to accept my receivers in my life, and I'm still learning that, because I kind of grew up in the Midwest, and I grew up in, I was born in the mid 60s, and it was kind of that era of independence. I had a father that really thrived under independence. I can do things myself. And so it sets up that framework for me to think that I've got to do it all myself, right? Well, I'll just do this myself, right? And then I shut off resources. I shut off that intimate relationship about giving and receiving. And so I have to uncondition myself. I have to for me, I look to nature to see how it effortlessly gives and receives. So just looking at your role models and just looking at your relationship to who will receive you and how are you received. It is such a beautiful question, right? And you can move it into all little areas of your life. Right now, I'm going through a time where my family is growing. My daughter's about to marry someone she loves, and when this person came into her life, it was like I had to really make sure I was receiving from that place that's unconditional, right? I want to hold that space of receiving this energy into her, as she calls it, into her life. So also then we get to so that kind of like molds into another little bird walk around receiving and boundaries. But in the moment, I think I'm just really talking about, how are we received and how do we receive, right? And I can have my own limitations around, as we talked about earlier in my conversation here, is I can say, well, I can only receive this much, right? I can only take this much. That has some resonance of very old times in our history around famine, around politeness, around how much I should be receiving. It's a very interesting relationship, right? That we're all that this week we're invited in to kind of muse around. All right. So let's just have a moment and work with that, receiving the energy of the day. And we're going to also work with, I think we did this yesterday, I can't remember though, also that what do we give to the day, right? All right, so let's do that small meditation again. All right, so let's take a breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. I have lots of little critters up in this tree, and they're dropping lots of little branches this morning. Kind of letting that gravity take hold of our body to help us kind of settle into our body. Feeling if there's energy that's trying to pull us forward into our day. Just relax for a moment for this next 5 minutes. And wherever you're sitting, maybe kind of feel the environment around you. I'm outside, so I'm feeling the air. It's a little bit cooler this morning. I'm hearing the sounds. as I sit in my chair. And just to begin to kind of feel, what is this day? If this day held a word for you today, what is the word of the day? So for me, it's complete, right? There's a completion happening today. I'm going to complete something, or something is complete. I'm going to feel that beautiful gift of oxygen coming in to my lungs, and that beautiful transformation into my blood cells, and that my lungs offer the world CO2. This beautiful relationship we have between those elements of life, carbon and oxygen. And then feel you have that word, and then feel where in your body does that word rest into. So for me, it's right at my solar plex, right at where my diaphragm is. When that word kind of lands there, what colors emerge? So for me, it's a lot of purple and pink. So it's 2 colors this morning. So that word came from our awareness. We're receiving that word. It has a place to land within us. We're having a moment where that's landing within us. And then we're going to offer the day something. So what comes through in the offering of the day? So for me, it's this peace. Peace of mind, peace of energy, peace within my communications, peace within my expression. So there's this energy of peace. So what is the energy you're offering the day? And let that fill the atmosphere of your day, right? So the atmosphere of our day is really kind of our auric field, right? We're walking within our auric field. We're walking within the atmosphere of our being. So for me, I'm going to let that energy that's kind of the color of white just fill up my auric field with this beautiful gift of white. Now to kind of move into that experience, right, that is guided by our knowing, or is going to now amplify our knowing, is feel how the day responds to what you are giving it. Feel how it's received. So for me, I'm very visual, and I can sometimes be very sentinel, like I can feel it. So I feel all of this beautiful energy at the back of my spine. And I kind of see all this golden light that's kind of coming around my auric field, right? And so that's the response to being received. And in that giving, so we're going to receive from the day. We're doing that through a word. It lands, the color emerges, is kind of activated. Then there's the giving to my day, filling up the atmosphere of my day. Then there's the awareness of how am I being received. And then there is the response. So feel how your body responds to being received. So we're really kind of slowing down the mechanism so you can feel this giving and receiving and the responses and the alchemy of it. So for me, I feel this grounding. Right? I almost feel like this fern is like grounding me in. Right? I am sitting by plants, so so just this grounding energy. So that's my response. I'm grounded into my day. So let's go over that sequence one more time to make sure we all have it, and we'll kind of use it again tomorrow. So let's do this again. So we receive from the day, and today we're receiving it through the platform or through the doorway of a word. That word lands somewhere within us, right? Somewhere within our sacred space, our sacred body. We have a moment and receive that, and we have a response. We respond through color. In the response through color, there is a gift to the day. There is, what are you gifting to the day? There's the alchemy of what comes. In the giving of the day, we fill up our atmosphere with that energy. We have a moment to feel the receiving of it, to be received by the day. And then in being received, what is our response? What happens within us? For me, I ground into my day. All right, you guys, enjoy playing with us, right? Enjoy kind of, having moments with this and feeling it. Be aware of what happens throughout your day, like little things, little magic things that happen. And feel that when you go into uncomfortable situations, when you have to have interactions that might trigger or conflicts you're wanting to resolve, or areas that you're feeling vulnerable in. Now you have this response of the day, and you've been received by the day, right? So just beginning to kind of feel that and to rest into that support. That support is unconditional. All right, you guys, enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow.